Hello from HiFi News, my name is Ville Santikko and today's news are: Ground Zero has released new neodymium magnets both in plutonium and nuclear series, also something new in radioactive series, we'll check that out. Then we talk a little bit about new stuff happening in car audio industry in the next 5 or probably in 10 years about Headunits. Also, Emma Finland here has pronounced that they are looking for new places to keep their competitions, and also we'll be looking something about European Championships of Emma in Salzburg in the next 2 weeks. And last but not least, we'll talk a little bit about SQC Winter Cup that had over 5 judges over the world in 5 different countries and over 30 competitions, and really little bit about of the results in SQC. So first news here, Ground Zero has released this new plutonium neodymium magnet type of subwoofer. Now it is meant to be a SPL subwoofer, only to use in a very high SPL like in DB drag racing or MIA ESPL, but you can probably get it to sound pretty okay in your car. But one thing to notice here, that it has a datasheet here on the right hand of these Ground Zero pages, and first time, I think for me, first time ever, I've seen all the parameters of a neodymium magnet subwoofer. So if you want to, let's say, calculate your subwoofer box or see what kind of subwoofer is a neodymium subwoofer, you can get the parameters and put them in WinISD or box, any box calculator, and check it out what kind of enclosure you might be using with this kind of subwoofer. Is it for you or is it for only SPL? Now this plutonium series has a whopping 20,000 watt power handling with a 4-inch voice coils, a big flat wire 4-inch voice coil with a FS frequency of a 41 Hz. Now this is a SPL type of subwoofer, so the high frequency, resonance frequency is okay for this kind of subwoofer. SPL, so the efficiency of the subwoofer is over 91 decibels. It is huge and it probably will be good onto the DB drag lanes. Now this also with this new neodymium magnet in plutonium series, they also are implementing it into a nuclear series. Now this nuclear series has a little bit smaller voice coil with a 3-inch voice coil. Also power handling drops down very dramatically. This says 2,500 RMS power handling. The efficiency is high, 91 decibels. Also the FS drops like 20 down to 25 Hz. So this might be a little bit interesting to use with a daily driver or sound quality wise a little bit better than the plutonium series with the lower FS, with a VAS up to 50 liters, and also I think it had X-Max of 32 millimeters. So this is quite interesting to have a budget neodymium subwoofer, not a high SPL. It probably will work very well also in SPL, but it has a paper cone seat, gives some flexibility into the high SPL lanes. But something to keep in mind, this also has a push terminals. With the plutonium series has a nice set of black and yellow wiring. I really like that actually. Not a red and what the color was, it was like brownish or blackish, but really black and really red wires. I really like that. Also the new radioactive series. Now the old black stamped steel basket is probably gone because I cannot see it anymore in the groundzeroaudio.com webpage. So probably the series is long and gone, and this will be replacing it. Now this is a 10-inch version one with a nice big of magnet, but the magnet has a really high rubber surround over it, so it is, I'm not actually quite sure what to think about it, but it is, the parameters are looking good. SPL 82, 1200 watt SPL power, 2x2 on voice coil, 2.5-inch voice coil with the FS of 44. It is quite high DFS, but it is okay for 10-inch driver. Also coming a 12-inch size with this new Ground Zero radioactive 12X SPL with a 3-inch voice coils, 1,500 watt SPL power, 83 SPL efficiency, X-Max 45 mm and FS down to 31.8 Hz. So this is probably the best budget subwoofer you will get in Ground Zero, about into the 150 to 100 euro range. Very good indeed. In details, we probably will be seeing this more later on. Now let's talk about a little bit about new head units and new car integrated systems in the next 5 to 10 years. Now I've been talking with a Harri Hellman here in Finland who imports brands like Gas, Alpine, Phoenix Gold, Silent Code, Stinger, Blam, CTK, etc. etc. So he told me that these new cars with a model number of like to 2015 up to nowadays 2018, so these new cars has all of these climate changes, and every navigations and everything are in the head unit itself. So when you will be replacing the head unit, you really cannot put a aftermarket head unit in there because you lose all these air climate changes, or sometimes it has these seatings that you can adjust straight from the head unit. And also in Volvo S90, you actually, the OEM amplifier will output the sound of the engine from your speakers, and all the warning signals are coming from the speaker. So if I'm just using a high level input in your amplifier from the OEM amplifier, or using some kind of device between the like DSP processor, you probably will get very loud noises and very loud warning noises from your speakers. So with this keep in mind, the new systems that are going to be more popular in, let's say, in next 10 years will be plug-in series. So you will be replacing all the speakers and all the speaker wirings with a plug-in set, and the head unit of the car will be replaced completely with a similar type of head unit with integrated these all speedometers and all these navigations and the climate changings, and see everything you have in your car computer will come in your head unit. Now this means a lot of work from Alpine and in head unit department, research and development department, to make up a head units that are capable of doing this kind of intellectual conversations between the car CAN bus and the head unit, to get all the information in your head unit screen. Now this will be very high in price. Actually this 8-inch head unit I have here is to Mercedes-Benz Vito V447, cost 2,200 euros, so they are really costly, but this will be the future of the cars. Now let's say if we go 10 years forward, these new 2017-2018 models will be available for lower customers like me. I can buy, let's say, a 2018 model in the next 10 years, so I cannot replace the head unit, so still you will have to buy this kind of head unit, or use a DSP with a, let's say, tablet. The tablet gives the feed to the DSP and feeds the amplifier, so you probably will be making a 2 sets of speakers, like in high-end, high-quality speakers for the sound, and low-quality speakers somewhere in the car for the warning lights and the ambient noises of the car makes itself. It is actually quite interesting when you have a new car and it plays the engine sound through the speakers. It is very strange for me. But let's jump into the next news. Emma Finland here in Finland has a, let's put that away. Thank you for contacting me in Facebook, but Emma here in Finland have had a meeting, and they have new sets of chairmen in their in Emma Finland ry, and they actually have already starting to asking the places where we can compete. So they haven't not set the schedule yet for the competitions, but in the Facebook page, and I will be providing link below, if you are a somebody who wants for example a competitions to be kept near you, ask Emma Finland if you are near enough. Let's say you're a foreigner people, so they only make these competitions in Finland, unfortunately, but as an example, many Russian people come to Finland to compete in Finland, and if you want to have a competitions like near in big cities like Helsinki, Turku or Kotka, you can ask Emma Finland to keep the competitions in there, so you have a shorter trip to compete in here in Finland, Emma. Also, Emma European Championships will be held in Salzburg car festival at 22 up to 25 days of this year, so this will be roughly in 2 weeks. We will be making a lot of news then, and hopefully high hopes for Finnish competitors there to achieve great things in European Championships. And last but not least, here is a little video of SQC Russia from the Facebook page from the Finnish Winter Cup held a couple of weeks ago, and couple of things. I have these also linked in the description, all the competitions here and every places. The best score of the day was from Jussi Paavola in Absolute Series with a Skoda Octavia with the average listening score of 256.33. It is very high compared to the next, who was Joni Hirvonen, also in Absolute Series with Mercedes-Benz R with 246 points, so that's over 10 points better Jussi was. And third was, sorry about the pronunciation here, Sergei Dubinin with Mitsubishi Outlander with 245 points. Now that was the top 3 with 2 Finnish in a Finnish Winter Club. That's good. Way to go, Finnish people. There was a lot of competitors in the event, and if you want to see very nice pictures taken in there, I leave the link in the description to check out. There was actually this car which has a rollover down screen for a video projector to show content, and a really nice steampunk backside of the car and anything like that. And also some person here is Juuso Heinonen with Mercedes-Benz, who is also, I have been telling about him in this HiFi news, and he actually came second in his over series with points of 231.5, and his teammate Mikko Laine came a little bit short, 231 points, so that's a half a point difference. Now Mikko Laine has a Volvo V70, and he is completely under construction of the car. Now it's just plywood all over the place, no finishing touches everywhere, and he got really good scores already. So high hopes for Mikko's car, and high hopes for Juuso to compete in European Emma European Championships later this month. Now that was all I have the news for today. If you have any news about core audio related, new subwoofers, new brands or something like that, leave a comment or send me a message in Facebook or via email, so I can provide you more information about core audio industry. Actually, there was Juuso Heinosen's car with a lot of 3D printed parts by me. Very nice. So we will be see you on the next video. This was HiFi News. My name was Ville Santikko, and bye bye.